recording. Welcome to the team call tonight, guys. So excited about what we have. And I will introduce Whitney in just a second. I want to just cover a couple of reminders and announcement things because that's usually what we like to do on these calls. So I don't think I need to remind any of you that those codes that our new people in March got expire tonight. You guys have been like going crazy yesterday and today. So I'm super excited about the new people that are joining our team and all the ways. I mean, you guys are doing awesome, like connecting them to the team page, doing all your wonderful customer care things. Did you guys also realize that people who join us in April are going to also get 3 codes to use up until May 15th? Okay. There was a couple of people that are like, I did not realize that. So I want to make sure that that's really clear. Anyone who joins in April from the 1st to the end of the month is going to get 3 codes that they can use. Or if they decide they're not going to use their codes, then they can pass on. So, kind of do that same thing we did at the end of March to figure out who's interested in sharing, who wants to help a friend, have an accountability partner, that kind of thing. And then also, for your new folks, did you guys also know there is a Plexus product call every Tuesday night? They spend about 15 minutes to talk about one product, what it does, benefits, how it's designed to work in the body. It's 8 p.m. Eastern our time, and it is on the Plexus Worldwide Facebook page. I blanked out for a second. Okay, so that is a huge tool. I know I have a lot of new people who are like, I kind of just want to know more about the products. Plug them into that resource and say, hey, if I invited you to a 15-minute call, would you come next Tuesday? And just share that with them or tag them in something. A really great resource that's out there. They're short, they're very informative, and helps a lot give people some of that education that they want. So, okay. I think if Whitney is ready, we'll be ready for you whenever you're ready. Okay, awesome. So let me just introduce. Now, Whitney and I have a history of not really knowing each other, but her brother was a good friend of mine in college, and her brother is actually how I met my husband. So I really got to spend a lot of time with Whitney in Cancun back in February. But y'all, I have admired her as a businesswoman and as a Plexus Jewel. I've admired her as the way she operates her business, runs her family, how she's a wife for a long time. And it was kind of one of those like, yay, I get to be up close and spend time. And we had a lot of fun in Cancun. And she's just amazing. Her heart to live out her passion and calling is so clear. And I'm just know that you guys are going to love the things that she shares and just enjoy her story. So she's going to share a little bit of her story. And then if you have other questions, put them in the chat, and then we'll kind of try to filter through some of those questions. And I also have a couple that we're going to ask. So she'll share her story, have a little Q&A, and she's just going to be with us for about 20 minutes. So without further ado, take it away.
Thank you, Nicole. Guys, I'm so excited to be here. I've been looking forward to this all day. I had planned to shower and get ready and stuff, and then, hot mess Mondays, Is it okay if I pray for you guys, pray for us before we start? Is that okay? Cool. I feel like everyone, like Plexus is such an incredible organization and we're growing so quickly. And I have seen and know that Satan is just like here to steal, kill, and destroy right now, like in big ways. And I've seen it in lots of sidelines businesses. And I just want to like cover our time. And so anyway, I'm just going to pray for us real fast. Jesus, thank you so much for these women. Thank you for Nicole. Thank you for her yes. And thank you for bringing these women strategically and purposefully to her team. Father, I'm grateful that we are able to be part of a community that is looking upwards towards you and that is focused on you in all things, and that we get to do this with one another. And I'm grateful for this time. Just bless my words and allow them to be heard in the right way for exactly what these ladies need to hear. I'm just grateful for this precious time that we get to spend together, and it's in your son's name we pray. Amen. Okay, so thanks again for letting me come. I really I love sharing my story, but it's one of my favorite things. What I'm really passionate about is um, getting to know and appreciate all sorts of different kinds of people and what they bring to the table. And so if you guys have specific questions, like think of them, put them in the chat box or however you want to do that. Like I love engaging and I'm an open book, and can totally get off course really fast if I am able to sometimes. But let me tell you a little bit about my story, my health journey with Plexus. So I went to Harding University in Arkansas and played soccer there for a little bit and met a girl, Megan Edwards, if you know her. And so we had been friends kind of through college and then Facebook friends after that, right? And I had been seeing her post about Plexus for a while. And my story is like everyone's is so different. You know, we all struggle with different health things. But there were so many things that I was struggling with that it was really hard to even like pinpoint what was going on, because my husband was like, you're just a mess all the time. Like, I was struggling with Hashimoto's, hypothyroidism. I was getting migraines every week. I had chronic angioedema. And if you guys don't know what that is, let's just all close our eyes and picture Hitch, the movie Hitch, when he has the allergic reaction to the fish. My face would do that like once every few weeks for no reason. And that kind of thing, like that kind of is a confidence plummeter, first of all. And then also it made it really hard for me to just do my job. I'll tell you more about what I was doing professionally before Plexus, to go to work every day, to be in an office every day. It really ruled my life. So I also had chronic hives. So I would get hives every single day for no reason, like all over the place, you guys, which is one of the things that I really love to find people on Instagram, hashtag chronic hives, chronic angioedema. Like I'm after those people because I know how they feel. I had all sorts of things. And so I was seeing holistic doctors. I was seeing my primary care doctors. And really what we came to the conclusion of is, I think this is all autoimmune related, but we're not sure. And the only way to really get this to not happen every day is for you to take Zantac and Zyrtec every morning and night, along with my thyroid meds. And so I was like, great, if that's going to get rid of it. Like I was not holistic at this point, like even remotely crunchy. And so I was like, okay, great. And then I started to look up the long-term effects. I was like, oh, this is going to be a part of my life forever. And I'm 25. That seems sort of odd that I'm going to be putting all these drugs in my body for the rest of my life. Like I wonder what that's going to do. So I started researching and I really just sort of gave up. Like, you know, we kind of all get to the point where it's like, I don't have any other options. I'm sort of at my breaking point. And so I had been seeing Megan post about Plexus and she kept talking about autoimmune and gut health. And I was like, I don't even know if that has anything to do with what I'm handling and what I'm struggling with right now. But like, I'm at the end of my rope and I'm driving to Denver once a month from the Springs, which is an hour and a half away, to go to this like doctor who's doing crazy things on my body. I was like, I can't lose. I can't lose. So I bought the products and I didn't take them. And I had a friend who was struggling with her milk supply. And I was like, hey, I've heard these kind of help with milk supply. And I gave them away. And I did not even open the package. I didn't take them. I didn't do anything with them. I didn't even tell Megan. I like ghosted her for a year after I bought them. So gave the products away, ghosted her for a year. The next June comes around and I was still feeling so awful. And by this time I'd had 2 kids and I had kind of during that year started doing a lot more research into holistic health. I had 2 home births. And so I really started paying more attention to that. And so I said in June, I sent Megan another message and I was like, okay, for real this time, like I'm not going to ghost you. And I really do want to give this a try, but we don't have the money. My husband's not on board. So I'm going to buy them secretly and stash them, hope that I lose 20 pounds because I gained 35 pounds in the process of Hashimoto's. And so I bought them. And within 2 weeks, my husband, he was the one who noticed the difference in me. I had more energy. I wasn't falling asleep on the couch every day after work. And so he was like, what are you taking and what's going on? And so I had to come clean about it. And that was in June of 2016. And he quickly got on board. He's like a super health nut. And he was like, I want to take this with you. I want to do this together. And I was like, okay. So fast forward to December of that year, I went and got my labs run again for my thyroid. And it was the first time that they ever started going down and becoming and getting in the normal range. I had never been in the normal range, even on 125 micrograms of levothyroxine. And my doctor was like, what is happening right now? I've never seen this happen before. And I said, well, I'm taking all these products. I don't know. They're like maybe helping, I guess. And so at that point, I decided to go ahead and go all in with Plexus, make sure I was consistent. And 6 months later after that, so a year after I'd been on the products, that was the first time that my thyroid levels were completely normal without any medication at all. And I wasn't getting hives. I've gotten 3 migraines, I think, since I've gotten headaches and stuff since I've started, obviously, but like stress migraines, I've only had a couple. And so that, my health testimony is what drove me to start sharing my story. And I want to give you a little bit of backstory on what I did professionally for work. I had graduated college and decided that I wanted to follow my boyfriend at the time, would be my husband, down to Colorado Springs. And I started working for a company called Young Life. And if you guys don't know them, it's a nonprofit Christian ministry that reaches out to adolescents, introduces them to Jesus. Incredible organization. I fell in love with it. And I started recruiting for them. So I was doing, our headquarters was about 150 or 200 people, and I was the primary person to interview everyone and headhunt in some ways. Like I'd go out and find people and really hook them up with their manager, which is why I'm so passionate about people's gifts and talents. It was a dream job, you guys. I got paid well. We had incredible benefits. I told my husband this last night, like, I got to spend time with all of the executives at this massive organization every day who poured into me wisdom, and they were godly and they had high integrity and like incredible characteristics. And it was just such an honor. Like it was a dream job. It was a dream job. But the reason that I even started considering Plexus as a business was because my daughter was in preschool at the time. And I remember it was around Thanksgiving, and there was this Thanksgiving feast at her school, and I was so excited to go. And it was a big deal for me to like take off of work and go to those things. But of course I was going to make it a priority. My kids are my life, right? Like I loved my job, but my kids came first, or so I was telling myself. And I remember walking into her classroom, and I was a little bit late, and I looked, she was 4 at the time, looked at all the around the table, and I'm looking at every parent is with their child. And y'all, my kid at 4 years old was sitting at the end of the table weeping because she didn't think I was coming. And I looked at her and I couldn't even contain myself. Like I was starting to get emotional. And if you guys are mamas, like, to see your child in pain because of something that you did, like I told myself, I walked out of that Thanksgiving feast and I told myself I would never, ever allow what I did as a profession to dictate my schedule with my kids and allowing me to live out my truest calling, which is a daughter of the King and a wife and a mom. And so I decided to go on with Plexus. And so that was in August of 2016. And I already had a testimony to back up the reason that I wanted to share. But my personal driving force was money, essentially, if you want to get really basic, but it was freedom. And I wanted the choice to be able to stay home with my kids. And I'll be really vulnerable with you. Like at the time, I didn't believe the Lord made me to be a stay-at-home mom. I told people, I said, I would not be a good mom if I had to be with my kids all day. Like no one would be happy in my house. And I was very serious about it because I used my job as a crutch. Like I was respected. I was paid well. People wanted to know my opinion about things. I had a title. I had a great income, and it was for the kingdom, you guys. Like I was doing it for Jesus. So it was like all of the greatest things wrapped up into one, and I was really good at it. And so that was my driving force. So that was August of 2016. I went silver that month. And then Megan told me, she said, if you go gold, in October, so 2 months later, I will take you as my guest to Leaders Retreat. If you guys don't know what Leaders Retreat, oh my gosh, I was like, I didn't even know what Leaders Retreat was. But you put a carrot in front of me, and I'm like, heck yeah, like we're there. We're already there. And so I worked my booty off, and September I added a few people, lost a couple people, and then in October I added 17, and I went gold that month. And I was in Dallas, which is where Leaders Retreat was. And it felt so good. I went senior gold, I think, a few months later in February. And then my biggest business builder that's joined me joined after that. And I went Ruby, Senior Ruby that summer, and then Emerald last year. So now I'm an Emerald ambassador, and I'm almost to 3 years. But I just like, I know everyone's story is so different, and me saying all of that sounds like it went really fast, but like what I had to really come back to so often was I was at Young Life for a decade. I worked there for 10 years. I gave them so much of my time, so much of myself. And it was a great organization. And I'm still like, I still am on committee. We still give financially to them. But I realized that although it was an incredible organization, my gifts and talents could be used in a lot of different ways, and it didn't have to be in that one specific avenue. And I got to do Plexus and Young Life for 2 years at the same time, which meant we could save all of my Plexus money and live off of Young Life, and it was fantastic. And then I got to be able to walk away from that organization and retire last year, a year ago now, and be home with my kids. They're both in school, but I'm rocking a massive baby bump under here because we have an unexpected third baby coming. And this is my first one that I'll get to be at home. And I really feel like the Lord has just given me a lot of grace in equipping me as a mom, and for me to know that I can do this and I can be home with him. And so I just want you to know, like, your journey, no matter how long it takes, is your own personal journey. And when you look at it in the perspective of, like, I was at Young Life for 10 years and I expected to give them 35 years of my life, and we can rank to the top of this company in sometimes less than 5 years. Like, that's incredible. And one thing that, and then we can do questions and stuff, but our upline, Jessica Heffley, one thing she said, she asked us recently, she said, when you get to Diamond, what are you planning to do with that money? And it really made me think, like, if you're not money focused, or if that's not your driving force, like that may be like, oh gosh, like I don't even want to think about that much. Or if you are really red and you think, I cannot wait to make $400,000 a year. I just want you to think about, like, what that is going to do to bless others and how you're going to be able to give it away. Like, I've told my husband this multiple times, like, I want to live on an Emerald salary and I want to give. Like, I want to equip others and I want to give. And so I'm so excited for you guys, because even just like the beginning of my journey was some of the most fun. Like, I'm living a life of freedom now, but it was like to work hard and achieve things. It is a ride, but it's so great. So much fun. So thank you for letting me share that. I know I talk really fast and I kind of like run through things, but I get so excited. But
Yay.
I think, Nicole, you've got some questions. I'd love to answer those too.
Thank you so much, Whitney. Yeah. I'm going to ask questions and let you keep talking. Okay, so one question is, with you having such a big testimony and you waited to share a little bit till you had that health testimony, what is something that you have found to be helpful as people say, oh, I'm just going to wait till I have a story before I start sharing? What do you say to that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I do have a lot of people, I think it's kind of a natural response. Like, how am I supposed to personally share if I don't even know what the products have done for me, or
Right.
I haven't even tasted the pink drink, like, and you expect me to talk about this? One thing that I tell any person that signs up with me or any person on my team is your personal testimony is going to be so very different than everyone else's. Like, you guys probably don't struggle with chronic angioedema or maybe chronic hives, and I'm so grateful that you don't. But just because you don't doesn't mean the products don't work. And so we have this awesome resource on Real People, Real Stories. But I always say there are thousands and thousands and thousands of people who have said yes to this and are continuously taking the products, and they would not be doing that if they didn't work, number one. And if you think about the ratio of the amount of people who have signed up with Plexus and then who actually share, we're talking like 800,000 to 15,000. So most people are not even getting paid to share their journey. But I always tell people, be very vulnerable. Be honest when you're posting about it and say, like, I'm so excited to get started with this. I haven't even taken my products, but my friend Whitney has. And you guys, she is down 20 pounds and doesn't have migraines and isn't struggling with chronic hives anymore. Share my story, or share Nicole's story, or share Jessica's or Ryan Evans. My gosh. Like, there are so many people that you will have a story to share, but share other people's too, because all of us are different and we all struggle with different health issues. So
yeah, no, love it. I thank you. I think it's great to hear how different people answer questions and like approach things, because it's sometimes we just get tired of hearing our own voices. Love it. Okay. So you answered kind of a question already. We know you didn't decide to do the business, right away. You ghosted your upline for a year. So there's hope for like everyone, right? You could have a Whitney who's ghosting you right now, guys. Just keep at it. Keep loving them. So I want a quick question. What is one of your top book recommendations?
Oh man, I love that, because I have not historically been a reader, but Plexus has forced me to do that. And my gosh, you guys, like, now I'm a procrastinator to a fault, like the biggest procrastinator. But I have had to like start doing book studies and stuff with my team and uplines and oh man, favorite.
Or just a good one, top 5, something.
Yeah.
That was good.
Okay, so if you guys went to convention last year, was John Max? He was like, I have baby brain so bad. Okay, he talked about the 5 levels of leadership.
Yeah.
That I had read that book right before we went. That is one of them. I love, especially because sometimes we don't see ourselves as leaders. We say like, oh, I don't have anyone on my team, or I only have 3 people on my team. And I love his approach, because you're a leader no matter how many people, if you even have any, and you will not be a leader until you have people until you start investing in it. And so 5 levels of leadership. I love the Slight Edge, and anything, I'm obsessed because I was a sociology major and a researcher. Anything Brene Brown puts out, I'm like, woo, she's good.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, those are good ones. Love it. Okay. And if anyone else has another question, I'm looking. I love how you talk about your business as an expression of kind of your unique gifts, and you encourage and train your team to do the same. Like, only you have this role to play. So I would just love if you wanted to share, I'm sure you could talk for 40 minutes about it, but if you just want to share resources that have helped, anything, thoughts that you have there.
Yes. Oh, I love that. I was just talking to Jessica Heffley today about this, and she said, know your team's love languages. And that is something that I'm really passionate about. I love the love languages stuff. I love Strengths Finders 2.0. If you guys have done that, they'll give you 5 words. Mine are like positivity, empathy, woo, competition is one of mine. I can't remember the other one. Includer. Duh. And that's a great one. I love that. I love the Enneagram now. But what I love about the structure of this business is that we are leading volunteer armies, right? And so we are not in a position of authority, but we are leading out of a place of influence. And what an incredible gift to be able to steward. Like how incredible that the Lord has blessed us with that. And so I think it's so important to realize that the way, like the gifts that he's given me are vastly different than the ways he's gifted my team. And if I am trying to lead out of a place where I'm saying, I'm doing it this way, you need to do it this way, it's not going to work. And so I love that we all are able to share and lead and encourage one another in whatever it is that we feel like our strengths are, and then also paying attention to those weaknesses, because we don't want to, I always say major on the majors, not on the minors. Like make sure that you know what the Lord has specifically gifted you with. And if you don't, go take a personality test, and start learning. Self-awareness is so incredibly important. It's unreal. And then learn your team, because we are doing this. Like I always tell my team, like, I hope that I am adding people to my organization and I'm raising up people that are going to do this way better than I ever have. Like Vicki Wooten is my level 1. She is way smarter than I am, you guys. And she brings a whole different set of skills to the table. She's a 3 on the Enneagram and I'm a 7. And she brings a whole, and the Lord has brought us together to sharpen one another, because I have gifts that she doesn't and she has gifts that I don't. And if I were to try to push her in my direction, it would not, like, she'd fail. She would. And she's strong enough to live within her own gifts. So learn about yourself first, and then invest in your team and learn about the people who are on your team, whether they're product takers or not. I think that the Lord has created you so uniquely, and he's going to gift you. He's already gifted you, and you're able to, you can live within that. You will be far less stressed if you don't, if you don't do that.
Oh, that's preaching to me. So I love it. Thank you, friend. I feel like when I started off my journey, I was like, well, I have to show them how to do it. And like, I only know how to do it this way. So you better just do it like that, you know? Bless Kendall. She's been such a gift to me, who's been a really good friend who knows me well enough to be like, so that's cool, but I'm going to do it like this. And I'm like, yep. Oh yeah. Okay. Thank you. So many, learning from people and knowing that like upline is just a title. It doesn't really.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I just told Vicki this the other day. Literally, like, your rank is really important, because it's something that we've achieved, but I have silvers operating at rubies, and I have rubies operating as a senior silver. Like, it is not, if you are on my team, and it is not about what rank you are, it's about how you want to grow and what you're willing to invest in yourself, and coming to me and asking me questions. But it, like, title is great. Like, I'm proud to be an Emerald Ambassador, but it's more important to see, like, does my work ethic match what that is? You know what I mean?
Absolutely love it. Okay. So I want to wrap up. Sheila had a really good question. So maybe like we could, I don't know, answer that. She wants to kind of know about, what does an Emerald focus on to keep building? Like, yes, do the daily high 5, but like, what does that look like beyond?
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. It's definitely one of the hardest positions I've ever been in, because you are spinning, you're spinning so many different plates, because you're leading a team page and you are building your team up. And then I've got level 15s that I don't even know yet. And, so it's like, I think that some of the hard part is, like, you sort of feel a little bit more out of control, because there are so many people in your organization and you can't touch everybody. So like, not if you're a detailed person and you want to know, like, how come Elizabeth's orders shut off and how come this, and it's harder to keep a grasp on. And if you're a control freak, you got to like work through that right now. I'm not, but I have people on my team that are. But I would say, as far as like daily work, I'm obsessed with the Dough app right now. And so I usually will start my day kind of working through a few rounds of dough, doing the high 5, checking on my people has always been a struggle for me. We're really working on our team right now, leading with excellence and customer service with excellence on our team. So we added 100 people to our team last month. And what does it look like to properly care for them? And so we're really trying to do a good job of that. You know, I think that like there are more big picture ideas, but I'm always craving that, like what I had going silver to gold, where it was like, put the kids down for bed and I'm sitting on the couch and I'm messaging people for hours. I miss that a lot. But you know, high five, the self-development has become incredibly important to me. I'm reading a Mel Robbins book right now, or listening to it. So self-development and just really checking in with my team, and asking them, I ask them all the time, they're probably sick of it, like, what can I do for you? What do you need from me? And I still do a lot of like dosage and how, you know, what would you put this person on and that sort of thing. So it's not a whole lot different. There's just a lot of extra responsibilities, but always recruiting for sure.
Yeah. No, she's definitely good at that. We'll see your name. She leads by example, that's for sure. And that's awesome. I think that's really important. And we have been modeled that well by Jessica. I think Jessica has always, you know, prioritized like, okay, you got to do it. So, okay. Thank you so much, Whitney. We could pick your brain for days, but so grateful. I know everyone here is just really grateful, and we have recorded it. So if that's okay, we're going to share with some of our other teammates who couldn't be here or on the whole call. So I think without further ado, friend, like you've left us with so many good things. Anybody have any last comments, questions? We've got like a minute. Okay. We'll just say a collective thank you so much.
So great. You're welcome. Thank you guys for letting me be here. It's seriously an honor to talk with you guys.
Thanks, girl. All right.
Yeah. Good night. All right. See you guys later.